Hi, this is Mistress Lydia here with the beautiful, and I'm just in awestruck right now with you. I'm so excited to have you on the show, Julie. Um, you just don't know. I'm very, very excited. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for asking me to be on the show.
Oh. So, how did you get involved in the BDSM fetish scene?
I mainly got in through modeling. I was doing mostly like glamour and fine art work, and a photographer asked me if I wanted to do some bondage, and I didn't know what bondage was, but I wasn't going to admit that to him.
Yeah.
I was like, sure, no problem, let's do some bondage. Luckily, it was just like leather cuffs. It wasn't anything too crazy. So after that, I was like, well, that was pretty easy. So, because this is back when people still shot film. So, it was a lot easier than doing, 500 poses in a glamour shoot. So I got on the news groups and started booking more bondage shoots. And then I quickly realized that there was a lot more to it, but I liked it. I liked the challenge of it.
Very cool. And how did you know that you were more dominant, the top, I guess you could say?
That was kind of, like I said, something that evolved because at first I didn't really have any examples of women as doms. All the stuff I was doing was women as a submissive and with male tops. And then I started working for Harmony Concepts, the bondage company in Los Angeles. And at the time I had black hair and I was tall, so I got put in the dom role.
Mm-hmm.
And I had learned how to tie, so I just kept getting put in that role enough that finally I was like, this is where I belong. Because I mean, when I was doing sub work, I mean, there were things I liked about it, but I wouldn't say that I was submissive.
Yeah.
In fact, I would often try to humiliate the guys topping me by getting out the ropes. And I mean, I was kind of a jerk as a submissive.
Okay. Very well. And what do you feel most is important about creating a good BDSM scene?
I think communication, which is hard for a lot of, I think a lot of men struggle with that. Maybe they're not comfortable with their own desires or they're not in tune with what they really want. I think many struggle with letting go of control, which is it's hard when you're the person that's supposed to be the dom. But yeah, so mostly communication and expectations and managing your expectations because I think a lot of people see the cheese drawings or scenes in movies and they think that's real life and it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever had a scene get out of hand?
I've had scenes where I have been like, you know what, I don't want to be in this scene anymore. I mean, they didn't get out of hand as in I wasn't in danger. It was just with clients that were topping from the bottom the whole time, which is really irritating. I was just like, okay, obviously you don't want me in charge. You want to be in control. So go and book a submissive and we're done.
Yeah.
Because it's a difference between communicating what you want and just bossing the other person around. And I don't want to be bossed around.
Yeah. About that. And was there ever a time that you were afraid for your safety during a scene or with a client?
During a scene, I did have to get a restraining order against a client in Los Angeles. Once he knew where I lived, and he started coming by my house, even when he knew I wasn't there, like bothering my landlord or my friends and my house sitter. And then he started doxing me online, and was writing people on Twitter, like anyone that was on my friends list, like, hey, do you know, so and so, and he'd put my full legal name. And then,
oh my gosh,
it was pretty crazy. And he'd send me things like, "Oh, I hope you die in a plane crash." And
oh my god,
I wasn't like afraid of him hurting me because I didn't think he really had the guts to do it. I think he was a keyboard warrior, but I didn't want to take any chances. So I went and I got the restraining order, and that helped.
and it's really important for women to know that they need to get restraining orders. If anything like this happens, a lot of people don't do it, and I've had to do it as well, so I know all about it.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to, as a sex worker, you don't want to be on the radar of the police. Like, this is what I do. And, I had to print out all the emails that he had sent me.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're putting yourself at risk by protecting yourself, which, people shouldn't be made to feel that way.
Yeah. And then people, coming to your home, like I had at my last play space, I had a home invasion.
Oh,
So they ended up taking a whole bunch of my gear and stuff like that. You just have to be really careful of screening and who you allow, just as an important message to others that are listening that, are new to the business maybe. And yeah, speaking of that, what advice would you give to new mistresses?
Screening is definitely important, though. I mean, to be honest, if someone gives me a reference with somebody I don't know, that reference doesn't really mean a whole lot because, what they think is okay, I might not think is okay.
Yeah.
I really like it if I can get references to people I know well, so then I can get a more honest picture of that. But also boundaries. Every time I've gone against one of my rules, I've regretted it. So it's really important to not, because sometimes you just start thinking, well, maybe I'm being a bitch, like maybe I really should, let this person do this, this, and that, or make an exception to this rule. And I've regretted it every single time.
Yeah. Yep. I can totally relate to that as well. It's very important right from the beginning to set the boundary especially with a new client, because then they think they can get over on you,
Right.
The next time if you let them, go just even a little tiny bit. So yeah, I agree 100%. Do you have any content online that people can purchase? I know you do.
I have thousands of clips online.
No.
I have a clips for sale store. That's my main hub. It's clipsforsale.com slash 9861. I have a members site, juliesimone.com, that has almost 20 years of content. Actually, it's 2020, so it does have 20 years of content.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Photo content, and then right now it's got about 1,200 video clips. And then I recently got on OnlyFans, which has been a lot of fun. I'm doing a lot of photo content. I have a series on there called Daily Disapproval, which is a one-liner to start your day instead of an affirmation.
Oh, that is so nice. That is a good idea.
Those are really fun.
Yeah.
And then we do weekly chats every week, which is
very nice. And you do take real-time sessions.
I do. Yes.
Yeah. And what does somebody have to do if they want an appointment with you?
If they want an appointment, they have to first go to my website, juliesbitchboys.com, read it. There are rules, and it outlines the process of booking. Fill out a booking request form, which includes references on there. Then they select from a menu of things that they're interested in including in their session. Then if I accept their session request, they have to send me a deposit. And then we book the session.
Okay. Have you ever taken anybody without the deposit?
I don't do it anymore, no.
Yeah, same here. Okay.
Again, every time I haven't, I've regretted it. So
I can just so relate. So. And what's your, I guess, most favorite fetish or scene? What do you enjoy doing the most?
It's hard for me to say what I enjoy doing the most because I enjoy so many things. And often, I guess what I haven't done in the longest amount of time is my favorite, So if I haven't caned anybody, that's what I'm raring to do. But I'm really into medical play, especially needle play. I like whipping, caning. I'm really into smoking fetish and heavy rubber.
Yeah.
Those are tops.
Yeah. Those outfits are so expensive.
Yeah, they are.
So nice though. Do you have a favorite DVD that you created that's close to your heart?
I have a couple, but one I directed for Gwen Media. It was called Slavery Love Story, and it's about a dom falling in love with her female submissive and the inner struggles she has dealing with that. And I worked with a friend of mine who composed an original score, so we came up with the music for it together. And it ends with a self-flagellation scene to this mournful trumpet sound. You know, it's really, I would call it more of an art film than like a fetish film.
Nice. And what was that called again?
Slavery, a Love Story. It was there's two parts. I can't remember which one has that scene in it.
Okay.
No, it's for Gwen Media.
And are there any other ones that you want to talk about that are close to your heart? I know I know you have like over 300, so
yeah, I have a lot, so it's hard to say. Audition was another one that is really near and dear to me. That was actually named one of the top 20 porns of 2014, I think. And not just like fetish films, like all films. So it's Jenna Jameson and Tara Patrick, and then there's my little film on the list. And that was another one that was that had a story, which I don't get to do in clips anymore. So it's, I really think favorably about a lot of my older work where I could develop a storyline and make a feature movie. This was about an actress who was auditioning for a role in a film, and it turns out that it's a rape scene, and then it kind of is a comment on like method acting and then also accepting your true desires. So it's a bit surreal. But she, gets raped in her audition, basically, and it's showing two different characters that are different sides of her personality. One is like all for all the kinkiness, and then another one is can't accept that side of herself. But in the end, she comes together and enjoys herself.
Well, that sounds good. It sounds like when I watch
Really intense. I showed it at some film festivals and got a lot of hate mail.
Really?
You're promoting violence towards women, and I'm like, you're missing the point of the movie completely. It's like it's a metaphor.
Yeah. Everybody's got something to say all the time. What kind of music do you like? Just so your fans can get to know you more.
I listen to a wide range of music. Really just depends on the mood. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of the Odessa channel on Pandora, kind of electronic music. Sometimes I listen to industrial. Sometimes I listen to classical music. It just really depends. Sometimes I listen to the radio and top 40.
I know that's rare that you can listen to the radio now.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite food?
I'd say meat. I'm a carnivore. I really like red meat, especially like a nice filet mignon, medium rare, nice and juicy and bloody. That's my favorite.
Nice. That sounds good. And do you have a wish list, and where can your fans find it?
I do have a wish list on Amazon. If you go to my Twitter, there's a link to it. My Twitter is JulieSimone7, right up at the top.
And is there a fetish that you haven't tried yet that you would like to try?
Yes. I'm really interested in learning fire play. I filmed a scene with Devlin Desad a few years ago, her doing fire play, and it looked so awesome. And I was supposed to go to a convention a couple weeks ago that beat me in St. Louis. They were going to have a fire presenter, but unfortunately it got canceled because of COVID stuff happening.
Yeah. How are you doing with the whole isolation thing?
The isolation doesn't bother me too much. I'm just really missing real-time sessions. I mean, I've used this opportunity to, take a bunch of online classes. I taught myself a new editing program. So opened up some different revenue streams. So I'm keeping busy, but I miss sessions. I miss, it's probably sounds silly. I miss going to the grocery store and wandering around. I miss going out to eat. Like those are the things I miss the most.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a hermit, so that just being, isolated isn't that different for me. But just the little things I can't do are kind of starting to get to me.
Yeah. I can relate. I'm going crazy. I'm glad you can handle it. I'm going crazy though. Do you have support from others, like family and friends who know about what you do?
My parents know what I do. I'm not really close to my dad, so I don't really care what he thinks. But my mom knows. She's always been supportive of anything I wanted to do, which has been great. And I have friends. My person I'm dating, he knows what I do. He's fine with it. So, I mean, and that definitely helps because it's frustrating when you're dating someone who resents your job. I mean, that's really difficult to do. So I'm happy that I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, that's really good. Let's see. For other sex workers who have no support, what do you want to tell them?
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say because I've always had somebody in my life that was supportive. But I guess maybe reach out to other DOMs because that, you know, more than likely they've been through a situation that was similar at some point in their lives. And it just even helps make you a better DOM, being around other DOMs and hearing their stories and, trading techniques. And even if they're not necessarily actively trying to teach you something, just listening to other people, casual stories has taught me so much.
Yeah. Do you do any I guess live demonstrations at places, like different BDSM clubs or anything around the area?
I've taught at different BDSM clubs.
Oh, okay.
I've taught classes. I mean, pretty much the main one I teach is femdom bondage, which is a 3-hour intensive.
3 hours?
3 hours.
Whoa, that's intense.
Yeah, it's also me working with each person one-on-one for every single technique and making sure everybody's got it down before we move on.
That's good. Very good.
You go to classes and then you're just like, I don't remember anything.
Yep.
Over because it's so much information. But if you're doing it and then I teach you one thing and then we do it like 5 more times in 3 different ways, so you still remember it.
Yeah, it's nice. Very nice. Do you have any new projects in the works?
I do not really. The only projects I guess I have is getting my DVDs ready for the award season in the fall. So I'm compiling a few things. One is Femdom to Town 9, which is going to be a corporal punishment video.
Nice.
I guess that's the main thing I'm working on right
now. Nice. Can't wait. And how is the BDSM fetish scene around the area where you live? Is there a scene? Or?
There is a scene. I recently moved to this area, so I haven't really gotten my feet wet yet, but I've joined a bunch of groups on FetLife, and there seems to be a fairly active scene.
Okay, good. And what was the best BDSM fetish event or adult industry event that you've been to?
I would say it was I'm blanking out. Torture Garden.
All of them.
What's the name of this event? Torture Garden in Los Angeles last year was incredible. And I've been to parties in Europe and in the US, and that was by far the best one.
Really?
All the performances were really cool and raunchy, and it wasn't a bunch of people just posing. I hate shit like that. It was like real scenes, and just the stuff was really it was really creative and artistic, and like a lot of attention was given to costuming, and it was just really stuff you wouldn't see anywhere else. Probably not at too many US based parties because they flew a lot of the performers in from Europe.
Wow. That sounds like fun. And how many magazine covers have you been in?
I think
roughly?
It's not that many, actually. I didn't really pursue magazines too much because I'm really impatient. And when you do magazines, you can't release the pictures until they get published. And sometimes it can take 6 months to a year to get published. And I want myself out now. I'm very much an instant gratification person. I shot something yesterday. I'm like, I should submit this for magazine, but I don't know if I can. But I believe I've been on 4. Old Nick, King Queens, Cynical, and there's one other that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, you have a lot, and I know they're all listed on your website and everything.
Yeah, they're on my site.
If you could tell everyone in the world one statement or a question, what would that be?
I guess to be more accepting of other people's lifestyles. You see a lot of hatred on the internet, and I think it doesn't take that much energy to be kind and to be positive. I think it takes a lot more energy to be hateful.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, I am so flabbergasted, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Julie Simone, the one and only. I appreciate it. And I'm just so, I don't know, you made my week. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.